Okay, thank you all for joining us today for this month's Small Business Roundtable. We're so excited to see all of you. Our topic today, our friends from BizLaunch are going to speak to you. They are Arlington's small business ally. They have great resources to help starting businesses or current businesses. To help all of our small businesses in Arlington. So before we get started, I want to give a great big thank you to our Small Business Roundtable grand sponsor, National Capital Bank of Washington. And we have Keyshawn Clark here with us today. She's the Vice President of Business Development at National Capital Bank. And I'd like to invite her to say a few words.
Sure. Thank you, Andrea. We are now in our second year of sponsoring the roundtable, so we absolutely love it. And we've been in Arlington for 3 years. We've been in the Washington, D.C. area for 130. So Arlington is our only branch in Virginia, and we plan to expand that in the next year or so. We have a branch on Pennsylvania Avenue and then Friendship Heights. So we are a full service community bank. We do everything from commercial lending to mortgages to business and personal banking. So we're thrilled to have Tara. When we first opened our branch 3 years ago, Tara and I had lunch. I think she was one of the first people that we met, and it was huge. She helped us connect with so many people in the community. So it's great to hear her speak today. So yeah, thank you for joining us today, and we're glad to be the sponsor.
Great, thank you, Keyshawn. Yep, Tara and her team at BizLaunch are awesome for helping businesses grow their business. So just a few housekeeping notes. Everyone's going to be muted during the presentation, but if you'd like to ask a question during the presentation, just raise your hand or put a question in the chat box and we'll get to you. And just know that today's presentation is being recorded and everybody will be receiving a copy. If you need technical assistance, please feel free to chat chamber@arlingtonchamber.org and you'll see them in the list of participants. So now it's my pleasure to welcome our fantastic speakers from BizLaunch, Director Tara Palacios, Small Business Manager Alex Held, and Business Consultant Lourdes Morales. BizLaunch offers information, consulting, and research opportunities for small businesses in Arlington. This month's Small Business Roundtable, the team from BizLaunch will discuss BizLaunch's new ReLaunch program, which provides access to complimentary services and support for Arlington small businesses as they recover from the COVID-19 pandemic. So please help me welcome our friends from BizLaunch.
Oh, thank you so much, Andrea. And it's so good to see everybody, to hear from Keyshawn. On behalf of the BizLaunch team, we are so delighted to be here at the Small Business Roundtable through the Arlington Chamber of Commerce. We enjoy the relationship that we have with the Chamber and being able to share some of the things that we're doing here in the county with this group around the roundtable. Very soon, hopefully, we'll be all in person. But we really put together a presentation today, and we really want to make sure that it's interactive. So if you have questions as we go along, feel free to ask them. But there are resources that we've been working on since the last summer into this year, and things that we have that are coming up that we really wanted to be able to share with everybody today. So with that, we can move on to the agenda. And so I'm going to kick us off this morning and talk a little bit about BizLaunch itself and the program and what we do, the work that Alex and Lourdes and I do each day, and then some special programs that we have. We have our ReLaunch program, and we want to share with you some case studies so that as you're talking with other people, or if you're interested in applying for the program, we encourage you to do so. And then we also have a new grant 2.0 that I'll be saving until the end. So let's jump right on in and ReLaunch. A little bit about us. both Lourdes, Alex, and I, we love small businesses. We love the work we do. We love being able to help people live their dreams. The BizLaunch program was founded exactly a little over 20 years ago today. And we're really proud of the work that we've been able to accomplish. And a lot of you that are here today for the roundtable, we know very well, and we're so grateful. And also being able to meet and talk with new people and to share, because a lot of the information that's out there is really designed and built to be able to assist our business community. Our small businesses are the backbone of Arlington, and we exist because of you. We're able to help others because of the success that you all have. And so we want to make sure that the work that we're doing is meaningful. We still do a number of workshops. We partner with different organizations. We partner now among the region because we found that with the pandemic, something that we've learned is, our ecosystem is based on the DMV. And so knowing our friends in DC, in Maryland, and in other parts of Northern Virginia is really tantamount in order to be able to help our business community. Our businesses don't know borders, really. We do as local government. So understanding what's going on in different jurisdictions, who's doing what, how to be able to best assist our businesses is number one for us, because it'll help in making those connections for you all as you're growing and expanding and surviving and moving forward. So for the next slide, I think we're uniquely positioned in the partnerships that we've been able to really cultivate, I would say. And it's us going out there into the business community, finding out where the key resources and the key players are, and then being able to make those warm introductions and those warm kind of partnerships and commitments. So if you are interested in, who should I talk to at the SBA? I'm interested in XYZ program. There's going to be, I think, in looking in the crystal ball, there's going to be even more access to different resources as we come out of the pandemic. The SBA has put together additional resources to give to local governments and to give to regional partners from a access to capital standpoint, but also technical assistance. There was a community small business navigator pilot program that many of our technical assistance providers in the region have applied to. And so they'll be receiving additional resources that will be able to benefit your businesses. So we will be communicating a lot of that information in real time. We continue a really great relationship with SCORE, with the Internal Revenue Services, CDFIs like LEDC and WAKIF, and so many more, so many others. So we really encourage you all to reach out to us if you have any questions or if you have any types of needs for your business. And so with that, I'm going to leave you with some inspiring words because this is a two-way. We are, I think, in the business community, it's all about relationships. It's all about the people that you know and the people that you trust. So don't let yesterday take up too much of today. Let's move forward, and let's move forward together. And with those words, I'm going to now turn it over to my colleague and friend, Lourdes Morales, who's going to talk more about our ReLaunch program. Lourdes.
Yes, thanks, Tara, and good morning, everyone. I'm so glad to be here with you today in this sunny morning. And again, we hope to see you soon in person, but it's great just to see some familiar faces from the beginning. And I get to share with you one of the most exciting initiatives that we are currently working. And I'm sure you have seen some of these images, that we're going to space with ReLaunch. We have done a tremendous amount of outreach in Arlington. You probably have seen our signs on the streets, on Arl Now, our social media, trying to promote as much this program because, a lot of people who have been participating in the program, as they are seeing the results right away. And again, as Tara mentioned before, even if you want to participate, but also helping us to share this great resource, it will be great. So we launched ReLaunch back in March, and it's a collaborative effort to drive business resilience and opportunity in 2021 and beyond. We hope to, keep going with these resources for a long term. So it came out of talking with different small businesses, right now during the pandemic, and it's not that it's over, but we're still working with a lot of business owners. And, we have talked with as many, as you can imagine during this time, and listening on their needs, what they really needed. We put together our ideas and our efforts, and we compile all those needs that our entrepreneurs have in Arlington, and came with this program, ReLaunch. And we divided the program into main areas, and it's revitalize and renew, because people really needed help with the strategy and also having access to technology. So basically, that's why we compiled those two big needs and divided in these two programs. So with Revitalize, right now we're offering from up to 8, and depending on the case, we're open to go up to 10 hours for professional business consultant services. We're working with a really good group of talented consultants that they have experience working with small business owners, not just in Arlington, but in the whole region. And they really can work with anyone, because we also are working with hard to reach populations. We're also working, and I will talk later about the industries that we have seen, because it's really open. So, but they really meet our entrepreneurs in wherever they are, because as you may know, we see some clients who are just starting, and they just started during the pandemic, or some of them have been in business for 20 years. So this is a group of really talented consultants that we're working with. And basically, we divide it in different categories, and it's the financial management, marketing and branding, strategic planning. A lot of the businesses are looking to have, even they didn't have any digital presence, but also, or expand that digital presence that they already have, and the strategic planning, and many more, because we have also seen different clients are looking for access to capital, but not just how to get the money, but coming to a plan with different resources that help them to move financially as well. Some other examples that I can think of, some businesses need to plan their exit strategy. They cannot continue with the business at this point. So it really depends. We just mentioned a few categories because those are like the big buckets that we have, but really can be any support in terms of strategy that the business needs. And then we have the tech support, or tech, not tech support, but tech tools that we have. And the program is called Renew. And it's, again, some clients didn't have any website or any digital presence at all. And they now can have access to a new website, completely new website, or they need to upgrade the website that they already have, or they need an e-commerce solution. The market have changed, the way that clients are buying have changed. So they need an e-commerce tool, and it's really fascinating. Alex will have some case studies pretty soon, but just to give you an example of an e-commerce client that we're working with, she has a kiosk in Pentagon City, and she was like, just relying on, all these tourists who come to the kiosk to buy, didn't have any digital presence. And now she's about to get her whole e-commerce site. And she's saying that, she's super excited because a lot of her clients are not just in Arlington, but they come from California, they come from Texas. And now with this tool, she will be able to keep serving the clients that she already have, at the national level. So it's super exciting to see the results of the work that we're doing through all these tools. And another, for me, fascinating fact is that she haven't used technology at all. So for some of the clients that we have worked with is to walk them and really hand-holding them, through the process, but we can do this together, So, and then Some of them already have an e-commerce solution, but again, they're expanding their market or changing their market. So they also help them to upgrade that e-commerce tool. And it's not we, but Nov8, that is the company that we partner with. They're using WordPress templates to help clients. And, you know, it's easier for the clients to upgrade the information that they need or update any additional information that they might need. So that's basically the two programs that we are working right now, the newest, but then we have the rest. And then in terms of industry, Alex, for the next slide, we mentioned, okay, I'm skipping one. But I will go back to that one. I just got excited about the industries, but because I mentioned before, and we have a really, you know, in terms of clients and type of businesses that are participating in the program, we have seen a diverse group from food services to educational services, art and entertainment, construction, healthcare, you name it. So we encourage everyone to apply. And again, it doesn't matter if people have, you know, any experience in technology or not, we are going to meet them wherever they are. And at this point, we have received over 118 applications since we started the program. And we still have a lot of capacity, and we're looking forward to finish the year with the ReLaunch program. So now Alex will go with some more details about these exciting opportunities for clients and how they have been benefiting from this program.
Yeah, and good afternoon, everybody. I thought I'd be helpful to kind of share a little story about how, kind of case studies about how some of the businesses have worked with this program and how it benefited. It's funny that we were talking at the early part of the networking portion of the program that a lot of people, you know, let grooming go to the side during the pandemic. You know, long beards, you know, undyed hair, all that good stuff. And so it's no surprise that personal services and beauty salons were negatively impacted by the lockdowns and the subsequent outbreaks of the virus since then. So there was a lot of fear in the marketplace. And one of our clients that we'd worked with, she'd also received a small business grant that we did back in July, Beauty Fair Hairstylists. They're located at George Mason and Columbia Pike next to Pan American Bakery. And they are definitely a legacy business. The owner, Rena Bawa, took over the shop in, I want to say, the mid-90s. And actually had started introducing what is called threading. If you're not familiar with eyebrow threading, it is where it's similar to waxing, but instead of actually waxing the entire eyebrow, they use thread to kind of trim up things. And so she was actually introduced that to the area. And so, you know, with you know, she's kind of, you've been there a long time, 20 years, 25 years. Between the pandemic, she's also in a location that the demographics and the environment is vastly changing. For those that are familiar with the Columbia Pike corridor, it's rapidly becoming denser. New developments are springing up everywhere, and the market is drastically evolving, becoming younger and a little bit different and different flavors. So she applied for ReLaunch, and she started with, I encouraged her to do the Revitalize component, which this is where you can get access to business consulting services through RevBee at no cost to the business. And she had a couple of challenges. One is this, you know, the changing demographics of the environment in which her business is located. But the other is Rena has been doing this a long time and is also looking to groom the next person that could take over this shop and find help and be able to do what, you know, business owners that at some point, not everybody wants to run the shop forever for the rest of their life. So she's looking to do a couple different things. When she started working with RevBee, they helped her tell her brand story a little bit better. Actually wrote copy that she could then use for her website and marketing templates. They also even, to help her with recruitment, they also pitched some different ideas of how she could write job descriptions to tell more of her story. Because folks, aren't necessary. They're looking, while folks are looking for a job, they're also, you know, the labor market is such today that they want to be part of a story, want to be part of a great company to work for. So they really helped her in those regards to help her start to look. But as time went on, you know, obviously she started in the mid 90s. She took over the shop. The internet, while it was a thing, wasn't so much as a thing of it is today. And so she's applied to work with Renew. But in order to help her get her website up and running, there's some work that we needed to do on the back end, because legacy business doesn't have a brand book like some corporate Americas do. Didn't really have a solid logo, and actually was really struggling with her brand already, because while she does provide haircuts and coloring services, she also does facials or using all natural organic ingredients. And that wasn't so much coming out of her stories and being told in her marketing materials. So people thought she was just a salon, but she does a lot more or just a hair salon, but she does a lot more spa services as well that are not known. So she's been working with Revy, and they helped her come up with some brand colors, which you see over here in the right, that she selected to kind of work off. Some of it's going off her existing color concepts. They also helped her develop a logo and kind of facilitated a rebranding. So instead of Beauty Fair Hairstylist, it's now Beauty Fair Salon and Spa. And because she's going through the Renew program, where she's going to get a website developed, they also helped her select the right website template that would be perfect for her. Something that was easily, legacy business technology is she struggles with technology personally, and is not very familiar with the current trends, but something that's a single page website template that she could use and easily update is instrumental. So this is kind of one example of what some of the clients that go through Revitalize work on, but there's tons of different other examples as well. Lourdes mentioned some, and we're looking forward I'm looking forward to the next time when she gets to go through Renew and we have a full functioning website and get to put all these pieces together for her. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So in our next case study that we talked about is actually a Renew case study. So this is an example of Jane Franklin Dance, who for folks that aren't familiar, Jane Franklin Dance is a performing arts cultural nonprofit here in Arlington. It's been in business, I want to say 20 plus years, if at least. And of course, just like personal services, the cultural nonprofits, were impacted by not being able to have performances and not being able to do live shows like they normally do, which is their significant component of their revenue streams. Like many, Jane Franklin Dance pivoted and began offering programs, classes, and performances all through Zoom. But the technology that they had access to was a little strained. As you can see the before, this is where people kind of click to see performances. The website was a little dated and also a little hard to navigate for folks, and also wasn't optimized for the way they are offering their programs today. That it made it difficult to kind of integrate the Zoom and the website platform. But now, after going through the Renew program, she has a fully functioning website. You can go to janefranklindance.com today and see it. But here's a screenshot on the side, fully functioning website. But that is a lot more visually appealing, a lot more inviting, and really, because of her content, really tells the story of Jane Franklin Dance in a very beautiful way. But I think the most impactful thing of this project is that through the development, she was given the background tools to be able to integrate these, be able to pivot. Obviously, the virus, now we're, a month ago, we thought we cured COVID, we're done. Now we've got another Delta variant coming. Like, this allows her to kind of turn the light switch on and off, to be able to better integrate her Zoom platform with her website, be able to offer more of a better online experience for customers. So that's the nice, the background tools of them. And she was very appreciative of the work that Nabate had done to help her get to this point. And it's a beautiful website. Oops, went back a little bit. So in our next company, so Rhinecone Thai Cuisine is also another business on Columbia Pike. They are located, they started in 1985, long before the internet was a thing. I don't think anybody was thinking about the internet unless you were a defense contractor in 1985. But, you know, so Rhinecone has been in business for 36 years, same location at the corner, I want to say, kind of in the Days Inn on Columbia Pike and Walter Reed area. For those that are familiar, it's a great restaurant, you know, longtime clientele. How Mihi, the founder, she began, if I remember correctly, she'd had a website developed through a friend, through Dreamweaver initially. And as time went on, I want to say this was in the mid 2000s when she had this done. And as time went on, websites are one of those things. We saw another small business in the room. He's updating his website today. I hope all is well. I hope everything is a smooth process and everything goes well. But websites, if you have to constantly improve them. And luckily, Mihi had a friend that was able to develop it initially for her on a very good price. But she was not able to. Dreamweaver is kind of a clunky software for designers that is more. I feel like it's more applicable for those that are very tech oriented, kind of coders, and have really those kind of skills. It's not a very good platform for someone that is a novice. And I put myself in that category as well. I'm not very good with Dreamweaver. So it started to look dated after a few years and wasn't able to really showcase her story, tell her story about her business. And so about 3 years ago, a company called Caviar came to her. And for those that aren't familiar, Caviar is a food delivery app. But Caviar came to her and said, oh, well, we'll build you a website for free. But of course, there's this little caveat, like nothing's ever free in life. But she could only use Caviar service on her website for delivery. People couldn't actually call and pick up. So, and she, as time went on, they developed it. It was a very simple website. You can kind of see here on the left of what it looked like before she went through the Renew program. Very simple, but Caviar took off full ownership of this website. So she never really had control over the content. She never had any control of, it was really a benefit to them. It wasn't a benefit to her. She had no way of being able to tell her story on her website. She had no way to be able to encourage folks to call in, post updates, showcase pictures. She had no control over her site at all. And so this was a really challenge. So when we launched the program, she was one of our first participants in the program. And she worked with Nabate and was able to get a fully functioning brand new website that you see here on the right that really tells the full story of her business that she has full control over. And the Nabate, the company that did the development, also developed some training manuals so she could easily make changes and update content as she goes along. But it's fully secure and fully functioning website that she got out of it that she actually has control over. So we thought we'd share some of these stories about how folks are leveraging the program to really improve their business. And with that, I would like to turn it over to my colleague, Tara Palacios, who's going to talk a little bit about the Grant 2.0 that's coming soon.
Thank you, Alex. And yes, we're really excited, and we hope that you all have lots of questions for us as well on the ReLaunch program and how it can benefit you. But I have the pleasure of saying that yes, the rumors are true. Arlington will be doing another grant, and we are calling this Grant 2.0. We have received additional funding from the state to be able to help businesses yet again with another grant. We are tasked, and it was part of our budget that the board passed this past spring. And so they wanted us to be able to launch another grant in the first quarter, which means before October the 1st, so September 30th, we need to have a grant out there. We're still need to work with the board to find out what the amounts would be and to make sure that the timing is good. I encourage everyone that if you're interested to definitely sign up for our e-newsletter, because we'll be sending that information. More details will be coming out. We're really looking to be able to help people that were not able to receive any funding. And so our recommendation is to go with folks that, you know, weren't able to get PPP or some of the state funds, really to reach people that haven't been able to access, and also looking at some key industry of folks that have been hardest hit. The application process itself would be as simple as uploading your business license, making sure that you are a small business, you employ less than 50, that you have a current business license and you're not in arrears. Some of the things that we saw with the first grant. One of the biggest changes that I am pleased to mention is that it will be a lottery process and not by merit. So when you apply based on the amount of funds that we receive, you will be eligible based on the luck of the draw. Out of that number, we'll be picking those folks out of a hat, and it will not be merit-based as long as you meet all of the eligibility requirements. So we're really looking forward to be releasing the grant. We'll be doing a lot of marketing as much as possible in the early months of August. Please share that information with folks that you know, whether it's yourself or others. We really want to be able to outreach to as many people as possible to let them know about the opportunity. And so we're going to start trying to propagate that information out as much as possible. Once it's open, it'll be open for a little over 2 weeks, and then we'll try to have the money distributed definitely mid to late September. So that's what we're looking for timing. We need to have meetings with the board to get approval along for the parameters. So there's still much in flux, but I did want you all to know an idea of the timing and that it is coming soon. So very excited to announce that, and we're looking forward. Our team will be playing the same role we did last year, which is really helping people to know where the grant is, any questions that they may ask for, but there'll be a team with our rest of our Arlington County colleagues who'll be actually making sure that the eligibility requirements are there. So we have nothing to do on the back end, all on the front end like we did last year. And so with that, we'd love to open it up to questions from everyone. Looking forward to a dynamic conversation, whether it's on ReLaunch, the upcoming grants, or things that you would like for us to address in the upcoming year. We are looking forward to taking your questions. And thank you for your attention during the lunch hour as well, I should say.
Thank you, Tara. If anybody has a question, you can put it in the chat box, or you can just unmute yourself and ask. I think we have a small enough group here. We can do that. So please ask whatever questions you'd like. John Pulley has his hand raised. John, would you like to unmute?
I did. Can you hear me?
We got you.
Great. You didn't ask us to raise our hands, but I've been conditioned to do that, so I went ahead.
Good job.
Well, thank you for the presentation. And just want to say, first of all, I really appreciate BizLaunch. You all have helped me. In the short time that I've been aware of the program, Alex took some time with me a few weeks back, got me involved with a SCORE program, set me up with a SCORE counselor, and told me all about ReLaunch, the two components, revitalize and renew. and I won the lottery, I guess you could say, on the Revitalize. So I'm working with the RevB folks. They're great. They're really professional and getting a lot of value out of that. My question is, I did not. I guess you choose folks every once a month. I think I did not get Renew. And my question is around one of the findings in the work I'm doing with the Revitalize, the RevB folks is, and this is not a revelation for me, but I do need some help with my website, which would be perfect for the Renew. So I guess my question is there anything is it purely random, or is there anything one can do to, and this may be something I should have asked on a back channel, actually. Is there anything I can do, given where I am working with the RevB people, and because of the timing and this website challenge is sort of front and center? Anything I could do to help myself in getting to take advantage of the renewed part?
Yeah,
So,
I could, or Tara, do you want to talk on? I could talk on that too. So go ahead if you.
I was just going to ask John, did you apply for the Renew program?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Then we have a more than likely you will get that aspect.
Okay.
We have a list of folks that have applied, and we're going through, and it's like really that you're put in the pipeline.
Gotcha.
And so we've been able to hit everyone that's applied so far.
Okay, that's great news. I did receive a notification that on that one that I didn't get it this time, but I guess they said your name will go back into the pipeline for consideration. And
yes.
Okay, so it sounds just like a matter of time.
Yeah,
Perfect.
And you'll continually be eligible. You wouldn't have to apply again.
Right, great. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Alex,
But
did you
I
want
think,
to add something?
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on that too, because I think, how I kind of define the two programs is that, RevB, they're very subject matter experts, they're consultants. They will help you, copywriting, get, branding colors, getting ready for that website transformation, because that is a very, we're going through one ourselves and it's taking a year. So I'll just tell you, there's a lot of things on the back end that you have to do. And some of that is making sure that, the copy is correct, pictures, brand colors, fonts, these kind of things. RevB can work with you on that. And as that's why I use the example from Beauty Fair Hairstylists, because she didn't have any of that. She didn't have any of that before. So when we met with the Nub 8 folks, when it became her turn, I was like, oh no, she's not ready. We need more time. We need to work on some things. And so I would, kind of behoove you to use this time with RevB to help you get ready for that. I think we've expanded the hours for this cohort this month. We're going to be offering additional hours to additional folks that have applied. So you can really kind of work on those types of things to help you get ready. Because the Nub 8 folks are great. They're very techy.
They're techies.
They're techies. I don't know how to describe it any other way, but they're techie. So I will say that, or I'm sorry, one last thing, Sarah. Even just doing a website audit, I think one of our clients went through and met with RevB, and there were just really small tweaks that she could have made. She didn't need to go through a whole redesign. So you might find this on yourself as well.
Sure.
For yourself.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, and I would just add to what Alex was saying is the one thing that we've also learned with the Renew program is that until we go under the hood, or until Nub 8 goes under the hood, we're not quite sure what's there and how to best help. And sometimes it takes a little bit longer. We've identified 4 to 6 weeks, but it's dependent too on where you're at and how much you want to put up on either an e-commerce or on a website. So it could take a little time, and just making sure that you have the time at that moment. We've told folks that it's okay if you realize that, something's come up in the business or an opportunity, and we can put you in for the next month. Do you know what I mean? If you don't have the time, because if anything that we've realized with Renew is that once it takes a little bit longer than the 4 to 6 weeks, but once you get it and you get that groove working with the team, oh my gosh, the end results, some of the things that we've seen with the businesses that have gone through has been great. I can't.
Sure.
And I know we're close to it, but y'all, it's good. It's like
Yeah.
really good. And it's a grant from the county. So the
Right.
county is underwriting it. So
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add that NOV8 will also ensure you get whatever you need. You know, we were working with a recent client and he needs to upgrade the website because it needs to notify parents about the new rules for COVID or if something changes in the center every week. So they make sure they implemented that specific resource that he needed to serve his clients. So they are really focusing on all the needs that the business have.
Yeah, great programs. Thank you.
Great. Looks like Lynn Borton has a question from Arlington Independent Media.
Yeah, thank you. It's actually less a question than an offer. One, just to say, this is great. I can see some opportunities for us, but I also wanted to respond to your request for helping to amplify information about both the Grant 2.0, but the services you offer in general, and just see that as an opportunity to get one or all of the three of you into AIM and record PSAs for both AIM TV and WERA. I mean, I think this is exactly the sort of thing that we obviously want to be able to amplify, and that, you know, people who might not necessarily be your usual suspects.
yeah,
That's what we want.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking.
Thank you, Lynn. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
So I just, you know, we can obviously talk about it offline, but just
yes.
it's an easy thing to do. We've done it with you before, but I just want to make sure we do it for this as well.
Thank you. That would be great. Because I think one of the things that we want to make sure, and I know Alex, Lourdes feel the same way, we want to make sure that we reach as many folks as we possibly can. So we are honored. Thank you.
Great.
And we'll definitely talk more, but thank you so much. That means so much.
Mutual. Thank you.
That's an awesome connection. We love seeing members helping members, or BizLaunch helping businesses, and the other way around. It can happen. So we have a question in the chat. David Rowley would like you to define eligible. And you said eligible businesses for Grant 2.0. Can you go over a little bit about what makes them eligible?
Sure. And we are still working on that. That is something that hasn't been firmed up, but what we are looking at is based in Arlington, 50 or less, not in arrears with COR Treasury's or the Treasurer's Office, have a 2021 business license. For this grant, we also are looking to help people that opened during the pandemic. You know, a lot of folks weren't eligible. If you receive PPP or like federal funding or state funding, we're really looking at people that have received no funding at all. And we're looking at some key industries that hasn't been firmed up yet, but hopefully I'll have more insight into that in about a week or so. We will be doing, and thanks to Lynn, we'll be doing some PSAs and some other information with that updated, and we'll be able to get that to you as soon as we've had the opportunity to meet with the board. But that's some of the eligibility requirements. We will ask for people to be able to upload their business license form into the system, and that's about it. You just check off and self-certify everything else, because we want to make it a pretty seamless. We don't want it to be onerous like some of the other types of grant applications that are out there, and just very straightforward and clear.
Great. And you may have mentioned this, but what are the costs to actually work with BizLaunch?
Oh, we didn't put that in the slides. It's a 4-letter word that begins with F. Free. It is absolutely free to work with us.
Wanted to make sure you got that out there.
Yes, thank you. We're part of Arlington Economic Development, part of Arlington County government. Our goal is to try to provide the resources that cost you nothing, so that you can reinvest. But we're also, and I will say this on behalf of Alex and Lourdes, like we take pleasure in helping others. And so for us, knowing that we're able to assist and help the business grow, because at the end of the day, it helps our overall community. 49% of the taxes from businesses goes back to our most at-risk community. And so the work that you all do and your success is our community's success. And I always say, like, you all are leaders in our community. Whether you realize it or not, you are. And we're just grateful to be here to do the work and to be able to say about folks like we remember them when, that's priceless. So the ReLaunch program is an application process, but we underwrite the costs. Right now, the way that particular grant works is we will also pay for the hosting up through December 31st. So, and once you take over the hosting, it's like for the e-commerce tool, it's $18 a month. And for the website, it's like $6. Because our thing was we didn't want, when the county leaves from that relationship that we've contracted out, we didn't want to leave an exorbitant bill for anybody, right? As we move forward. So, but I am hoping to extend ReLaunch. I'm working on several grants now to extend that program into next year. So wish us luck on that, because this program is like a solid tool that we can provide to the community.
Awesome. Thank you. Anybody have any more questions? Feel free to raise your hand, put it in the chat. I do have another question. I know it's really hard for businesses to get capital. So do you have recommendations for business owners on how to, what that process is for securing capital?
Yes. I would say that access to capital has changed now. It isn't the same. I think that with a lot of grant funding and the banks working on PPP along with the SBA, there is a tremendous push to make sure that business owners have access, but the players are not the same. And so I would recommend reaching out to us, either Alex, Lourdes, or myself, to talk about how to access capital in 2021. I want to work with maybe some chamber members who are grant sponsors to maybe do some training around that, because it's very different now and what that looks like and how you access capital. I believe the grants probably into 2023 will be probably phased out on the federal end. But yes, I totally agree. I do believe there are going to be different ways for people to be able to access capital. And so having that strategy, having that plan, RevBee can also work with you to develop a strategy to win access to capital. But the funding themselves and who are funded, banks are looking at changing some of the ways that they provide access to make sure that it's getting out there to hard to reach communities, communities of color, different types of industry like never before. So I think that with the pandemic, there's going to be a change in how things are done. But if there's a strategy, there's going to be a way to be able to access it. Alex, Lourdes, I don't know if you want to add to that, or is that?
No, I think, yeah, I mean, I think this, the challenge is what I see with a lot of folks. I'll just, say some, it's part of it is you have to do a lot more planning and then even more planning. I think a lot of folks we get come to us and they need access to capital, but they're not quite ready to even begin to have that conversation. Whether it's either personal finances or their business plan isn't fully built out, or they, what have you. So I think that is the other key component. as well that we see.
And I will add, there are different organizations as well. If some of the clients that we have worked, they're not able to, get assistance directly from a bank. There are other organizations like LADC, WakeUp that are willing to work with the business owner, even from, before getting access to capital, working on their credit or working on that business plan that Alex was mentioning. We can also work with them, but really prepare and plan and get everything ready, because a lot of our clients haven't been ready before applying. And that's why, in some cases, they don't get the money that they need. So like looking for to prepare with different organizations that are available to help in the area before reaching out to the financial institutions.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And we didn't mention this, but they were one of our partners too, but we have a good relationship with a couple CDFI lenders, community development financial institutions. And sometimes, they offer programs and they're more willing to work with startup businesses in certain situations, certain industries. So those could be very helpful as well, and sometimes exactly what a client may need.
Great. And you guys, just so everybody knows, you guys don't just have the grant. You don't just have the ReLaunch Renew. You have a lot of other resources. So if anybody out there, if you have an established business, if you're starting a business, BizLaunch it should be your first stop. They will help you, they'll support you, and it's just a great place to be. And they will answer your questions or find the answers to your questions, and it's the best place to get support for your business. So please,
because we help people. I wanted to add on that too, because we help people market research, business intelligence. We're going to be rolling out a new resource around business intelligence as well. Staffing. If you need help getting employees, we help people with that. And then we also do a lot of work in permitting assistance too, helping and finding and selecting spaces. So.
Yeah, and then we've also just this past year have developed a marketing toolkit where we've been doing Arl Now blog posts. Alex has become the guru for that. But we're also on TikTok. I'm very proud that we're on TikTok and all the other social media platforms. So if you all have information that you want to get out to the community, definitely reach out to us. We can share the link to the marketing toolkit. So if you want to be featured, or you want us to do a takeover or to be featured on TikTok, we'd love to do that. We have a talented team that keep us young, and that we get a lot of clicks. And so that has been, and that's absolutely free to anyone, whether you're nonprofit, for profit. We just want to help people to be able to get their brand out there. And because of who we are, we have some funding behind that, we'd be honored to help with that as well.
Awesome.
And Andrea, I just wanted to add that all the services that we provide, we're able to offer them in English and Spanish.
Oh, great point.
So everything, even the consultants that we're working with, we have several Spanish-speaking clients, and they're able to serve that community as well.
Fantastic. Thanks for mentioning that, Lourdes. So I think we are out of questions. You have their contact information, so please reach out to BizLaunch if you need help with anything. Thank you all for attending today's Small Business Roundtable. We really appreciate you spending your time with us today. If you're interested in upcoming events for the Chamber, you can check out our website. There's an events calendar on there. Our upcoming networking events, we have a virtual breakfast connection on August 12th, which is education focused. The APS Superintendent Duran will be in attendance. And then we also have our Business After Business event on August 19th, and that's going to be at Washington Workplace, as we mentioned earlier. So we hope to see you back here next month for the next Small Business Roundtable, which is August 25th. We're going to have a representative from OAR who'll be discussing the benefits of hiring returning citizens. So following today's event, we'll be sharing the presentation slides and a copy of the attendee list. We do encourage you to follow up with anyone that was in attendance. We do also ask you to please not use their contact information Don't add it to any mass distribution lists or anything like that. So if you could use it appropriately, we would appreciate it. Thank you again to our small business grand sponsor, National Capital Bank of Washington. And Keyshawn Clark, thank you for being here. And a very special thank you to our very special friends at BizLaunch, Tara Palacios, Alex Held, and Lourdes Morales. The Arlington Chamber is here for our members. If there's anything that we can do to support you, please don't hesitate to contact us. Thank you for attending our Small Business Roundtable and have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.